It's Saturday, September 30th, and you are watching a new episode of You Don't Watch Sports. We are guiding light through the sea that is sports conversation. We're going to cover 3 topics across the sports landscape, and then we invite you to use those topics in the rest of your week's conversation. I'm Bill Smith, and I am with the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, Feo Grande Omari Ellis. Omari,
Thank you.
What's going on, bud?
Thank you very much, Bill. Good to be here. Thank you for coming up with this idea for a show. We had fun last week. I'm having fun this week.
Absolutely.
We just get more excuses to talk to each other about stuff. And while we invite you to use these topics at your job, we also invite you to, pitch it in the comments. If you think maybe we're wrong about something, comment,
Right.
Let us know.
I am so frequently stupid. But the thing about being stupid is you need to be told that you're stupid in order to not be stupid anymore.
And a broken clock is right twice a day. And one time a day was last week. Just want to get that out there. We told you, both of us told you that the Miami Dolphins were a team that was scary as fuck out of all the 2-0 teams. They won by 50, 70-20.
Woo! Ooh, that was a crazy game. That's a free one. That's just a little sprinkle for you to have. Dolphins scored 70 points. Good God.
Could have gotten the record.
Good God.
Could have gotten the record, but they said they didn't because they're not there to embarrass their opponent. The most fucking...
That's just a free little sprinkle on top of our 3 topics there. You got that one as a little taster. Another thing that we talked about last week is I may have gone a little bit hard on our man Damian Lillard, which leads us into topic number 1. Seed number 1 this week is Damian Lillard and the NBA offseason power rankings. The Milwaukee Bucks reached a blockbuster trade this week, swapping 2-time All-Star Jrue Holiday and 2 unprotected first-round picks to the Portland Trail Blazers for Damian Lillard. Dame averaged over 32 points per game this season and is primed to be playing in meaningful games for only the second time in his long career. The Milwaukee Bucks could have probably already been in the discussion, along with the Boston Celtics, as leading the East. Adding Damian Lillard, Omari, are they the team? Are they the team to beat? And if not, who do you have?
So I was trying to think about this earlier because I agree with you about the East because I don't think anybody's really left out there that is straight up, that's the team that's going to beat them. There are teams that are dangerous. Can never count out the Celtics. The Heat are a landmine.
The Celtics are a power team. They are a dominating team. They're not a can't count out. They were probably number 1 3 days ago. They were probably everyone's clear number 1 3 days ago. Milwaukee would have been in that conversation.
For me, I just don't trust these Celtics because they're making it to the finals twice and choking it up.
That's true.
But I get your point. They clearly are a powerhouse in the East. They are one of the 3 teams you really need to look out for in the East are the Heat, Celtics, and Bucks. I don't see, especially with what happened before. If Damian
Speaking
Lillard
about playoff performances, I mean, you're talking about a Bucks team that had the best record in the league last year and then got Jimmy Butlered.
Yeah, true. That's why the Heat are dangerous,
right?
Because they're that's why I refer to them as a landmine.
Right. Is having that
step on them
is having that sniper now in the pocket? Because that's what Damian Lillard is he is a closer of games.
Yes.
Is that the piece they needed? Is that beating Miami Heat last year?
Who else did they give up aside from Jrue? Because Drew's really good.
They gave up a couple of pieces and then picks.
Okay.
Because it ended up being a three-way trade. I believe Phoenix was the other team involved. You usually have to have a third team when you're dealing with, something this huge.
Because Portland's been Portland, I've not seen a lot of Damian Lillard games as of late. and I'm not taking that on him. But if he's still playing at the level he is, I think they are the favorite in the East. As far as, but
yeah, I think he averaged 32.2 points last year for Portland.
So yeah,
but you could also make the argument maybe that he's the only one over there doing shit.
Yeah, but I look at it this way: if you just let him shoot what he wants, like he does, because he's kind of in that Curry field of I let me shoot whenever I want type deal.
Mm-hmm.
If he does miss, you have Giannis down there to catch the rebounds and put them in.
Yep.
And I think the team was already kind of Giannis and a bunch of shooters. And if one of those shooters is a lot more accurate, that helps them a lot. The Orlando Magic went to the finals with Dwight Howard and a bunch of shooters, none of which were Damian Lillard's level.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and that was in the Eastern Conference with LeBron. So I see them as the favorite in the East, but obviously Heat and Celtics dangerous. Right. However, definitive favorites to win the NBA, the West has people that I can never count out regardless of how they look.
The West is insane.
There's too many I said the Heat are a landmine. They can upset anybody. It's just how many charges do they have, and can they do enough upsets to get a championship?
Mm-hmm.
The West got the Warriors. They're still the Warriors. I don't care what anybody says. Oh, they're falling off. They literally won a championship 2 years ago.
No. Yeah.
And I can't count out that man, Steph.
Right. I'm at the place in my life where I am not counting out a Steph Curry. I'm not counting out a LeBron James.
Yeah, I'm not counting
until
out
they decide to walk out.
Yeah.
Until they decide to walk away.
Yeah. When they lose, when they're eliminated, they're not making it to the finals. Until then, there's always a chance.
Phoenix Suns, Denver Nuggets.
Phoenix Suns. They lost Chris Paul, who went to the Warriors, but they still have KD and Booker.
They gained Beasley though. You could argue that they lost Chris Paul and gained a young Chris Paul.
There you go. That's a great point. They also lost Ayton, apparently.
Yeah.
But they still have KD and Booker and Beasley. So they're dangerous. And then there's, of course, the three-time straight MVP and his team, the reigning, defending, undisputed, champions, the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah.
And like I said, Jokic has done nothing but keep being good these past 3 years. And you got, if Kyrie and Luka figure it out, you have the Mavericks to worry about, because Kyrie plus Luka, it's fucking dangerous. So any of those teams can get hot for any particular series. So I can't say they are the definitive favorite in the league, but I am definitely giving them the team to come out of the East at the moment.
Perfect. I love that. Looking like the team of the East, but West has way too many teams to deal with. Love that. Let's move quick on to our second seed. Quarterback missteps and step-backs in general at week 3. The most important position in all of sports is pretty undeniably the NFL quarterback. Now, I'm not rooting for anyone to get benched here, but there are a handful of teams that have to be concerned about what they've been seeing from their starters so far. There are others that are already wondering about their options before the season and might be aggressive about making a move. So even if the starter's playing reasonably well at the moment, there could be some people with some hot seats. Omari, which QB1 is going to start riding pine first?
Wilson. Zach
Wilson from the New York Jets.
Yes, because to think of other ones that are on the hot seat, obviously you got Wilson, Russell. They paid that man too much money,
making a lot of money,
and his new coach too much money for Broncos country not to ride that horse until the wheels fall off. Justin Fields in Chicago, he could be benched before Wilson, or he could be, but I doubt it, because he at least has shown something in these past 3 years as there is athletic talent here. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be coached and put together, but a lot of the narrative, unless you're a Chicago Bears fan, is still on the coaching and a lot of other people. So he has at least a little bit more wiggle room before he's benched. I don't know enough about Sam Howell. Is he on the Commanders?
Yeah, he's the Commanders quarterback.
What do they gain by benching?
He is not horrible, but he's not like kind of also who's QB1 for Tampa right now. He almost went on this
Baker
list.
Mayfield.
Again, not like he's not horrible, but he's not playing great, and there's just the team has higher.
Thing is that
Sam Howell 65% completion percentage, 670 yards over these 3 games, 3 touchdowns in total, 5 interceptions.
Ugh. So yeah, that's bad. But what do you expect out of the Commanders right about now? Not much.
Yeah.
You don't expect a lot out of the Bears, and after losing by 50, you sure as hell shouldn't expect a lot out of the Broncos. You know who thought they were going to the Super Bowl this year because they had a really good quarterback coming into week 1 for a good 4 minutes? The New York Jets. You know who don't have that quarterback and instead have Zach Wilson, the guy who was the only reason they didn't go far last year? The New York Jets. And they went all in on getting everybody they could and spending extra money and trying to pull people over and trading draft picks. They went all in on this season. They need to fix the problem the quickest if they want to actually save, because one of the other teams in their division is the Buffalo Bills, who are terrifying in their own right with Josh Allen. Another team is the team that won by 50 last week, the Miami Dolphins. So
what? I can't do a dolphin noise.
I can't either.
Does that happen in Miami? I don't know.
All
right, Zach Wilson.
A nickname for Tyreek Hill as the cheetah, so you can just be like.
I mean, Zach Wilson. I would say my sneaky scary. I would just love to see it for the drama of it all, because your bitch loves drama. Is the city of Denver absolutely turning on Russell Wilson, because he has given them nothing.
But he's Mr.
to
Unlimited.
Root for. He came in with all of those diva stories. Like, we've got filled with nothing in our news feed but all of that bullshit, and then he has been garbage. He has been garbage on the field, and the team's results have been garbage.
Ever since week 1 of last season, when they played the Seahawks ran over them, and they went to Pete Carroll, and they're like, was this person? What do you think? And the whole team was
I had to put my balls on his face.
Yeah, the whole team was like, a nigga named Russ. It's like, yeah. And Richard Sherman going off after the game. Yeah, it can't. Ever since then, the public view of Wilson just
yeah,
and then he just keep responding like he don't care. I'm Mr. Unlimited. Well, he was gonna do this, Mr. Unlimited. That's a promo he cut for like Instagram or some shit last year. Broncos country, let's ride.
On to the third seed of the day. We're gonna do a tip of the cap to Mr. Ronald Acuna Jr. I was talking to this guy about Ronald Acuna Jr. a few weeks ago. Ronald Acuna Jr. wasn't going to let Wednesday's game versus the Cubs end without making even more history. The Atlanta Brave stole second base in the 10th inning of a hard-fought matchup between the Atlanta Braves and Chicago Cubs. It was his second of the night and 70th of the season, making him the very first player in MLB history to hit 40 home runs and steal 70 bases. Ronald Acuna Jr., ladies and gentlemen.
Indeed.
As we talked about, as Jay-Z referenced in his song, the 40-40 Club, which he designed and built, because the saying in sports is that the 40-40 Club is the most elite club to be in. It is the most exclusive club. There are only a small handful of people who have made it to the 40-40 club in this long, long history of American baseball. And Ronald Acuna Jr. said 40-40 club, I'm going to do that by July. I'm thinking 40-70 club, my dude.
And he did it.
That's
pretty sweet.
In addition to that remarkable feat by their right fielder, the Atlanta Braves are the overwhelming favorite for their second World Series in 3 years. But, anything can happen in the playoffs, which oddly, nice factoid for you. This playoffs will be the first time in 30 years that it does not contain the New York Yankees, the Boston Red Sox, or Omari's St. Louis Cardinals. So that's your little baseball factoid and a quick third seed to get us rolling on into our day. Omari, how was your sports week?
My sports week was fine because I have a friend who's a Dolphins fan, and so I can look on them favorably regardless. And they did something like that where that went crazy. Aside from that, Panthers are the 0-3 team. No team from NFC South won last week, and I was a little bit down about that. Luckily, I was distracted by being at a fighting game tournament, CEO Taku, and that was fun. And I got to see a friend of mine win a medal there.
That that's on ESPN now. Are we going to say that's a sport?
Depends on who you
ask. As
a
potential athlete in said potential sport, do you want to be called an athlete in said sport, Omari?
Here's the thing. I think it's a sport, but I don't think they should be called athletes, if that makes any sense.
Participants? What are you then? There's
competitors, maybe. Yeah. But the main reason I say that is because with the amount of dedication and practice and knowledge and everything and time that you need to invest to be at the upper top of playing any kind of video game, but especially fighting games and stuff, or the individual one-on-ones as opposed to teams.
Yeah.
The amount of stuff you need to know and practice is just about the same as it is to be good in other sports. However, athlete literally implies physical, moving, like actual athleticism.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody
hand-eye coordination.
Hand-eye coordination. There are some
fast
things,
twitch reflexes.
There are certain things, but it's not the same. You don't have to go. You don't have to go to the gym to be good at fighting games. No. You have to go to the gym to be athletic. And that's why I'm saying I wouldn't necessarily call them athletes, but esports, the term that it is for playing competitive games, I think that's fine. It's more the E. As long as you put the E there, it's already distinguishing it from other sports. So I don't know why people get mad at them saying that. It's literally saying sports, but kind of sports, but not fully. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I do think it's a sport, especially as more and more people start putting money into it and these things, you start getting more and more pro tours and leagues. The fact that it's really fucking hard and you really got to be the best and do a lot of stuff outside of actually just playing the fighting game to make money. But Capcom usually being the Street Fighter company, usually sets the trends with a lot of the ways the other things look at when they release their games and do sponsoring for stuff.
Yeah.
And they went all in with the Pro Tour this year. The finals, the winner gets $1 million. So if they're finally starting to throw that kind of money around and you can actually get a living off of going to tournaments and stuff, which has been impossible for the whole history of playing fighting games.
Yeah.
Then even more reason to call it a sport, just not athletes.
Okay. I have the resolution. I have our answer. It's the year of our Lord 2023. We know how to answer this question. Does Vegas allow you to bet on it?
I don't know. I think
you don't
so.
know that? If the answer is yes, I'm calling that a sport.
I'll agree with that without having looked it up. But Evo is hosted in Vegas, and they just announced an Evo Day this year. So I don't see why they wouldn't allow it, considering it's always held in a casino. Any betting that I have seen or not seen, as it were, at tournaments was all done in the crowd with people betting one another. Right. No one really going to any bookies because I don't think it reached that popularity. But I think it would if more companies are putting money into their pro tours.
Right on. All right, so that was your 3 topics for this week and a little bit of bonus stuff. The Dolphins scored 70 points last week. Damian Lillard and the Bucks, probably the best team in the East, more than likely. But the West is way too stacked to be having a conversation about league-wide.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks we think are going to be benched. Zach Wilson, New York Jets, more than likely. You've probably heard about the whole Aaron Rodgers thing. Personally, I would love to see it happen to Russell Wilson. Not love to see it, but I don't know. I'm a little bit of a dick. And then the 3rd seed is Ronald Acuna Jr. Welcome to the 40-70 club. That is 40 home runs and 70 stolen bases.
Holy shit.
Omari, where can the people find your face?
They can find my face all over the place, but especially here on this channel. You can also check out our other stuff. You don't want to just hear about sports. You don't watch sports, right? Maybe you watch movies. We have a show.
The logo for the channel is your face.
I'm like, maybe you watch movies. You don't watch sports. Maybe you watch movies. We have a movie discussion series. This guy hasn't seen. It's Movies Club. We trade movies back and forth. I believe this week was Gladiator. Next week is Blade Runner. Check it out. New episodes every week, every Tuesday. I also have another show on YouTube every week, every Wednesday, called Whatever We Want Podcast. That's what it is. The channel is Whatever We Want Podcast. Do it a good friend of mine and good friend of the show, Super Jazz. As nature intended. Thank you. And yes, I also have the Twitter and Twitch. That's GIOTAVI. Giotavi. Come on in. Stop on by. Yeah. What you got to say to the folks? Anything?
I don't know, man. My mission in life is to make your intro 9 minutes long. Just keep adding shit to your resume.
The outro just like, I don't know.
Then you got. Have a good week, folks.